Good morning to everyone. Be'ezrat Hashem, Mincha is going to be 4:20. Please be on time. The learning and the breakfast is Le'ilui Nishmat Simcha Bat Na'ima. As we were discussing yesterday, the position of Chacham Ovadia Yosef, that a doctor that is called to the hospital for reasons of pikuach nefesh, because of life endangerment, and he goes on Shabbat, we said that he's not allowed to drive himself back on Shabbat because that's a Torah violation and it's not life-threatening. And we said that the Bali Got Moshe disagrees, but Chacham Ovadia holds very strictly and very confidently that the doctor is not allowed to return home, which means us Sfaradim, we follow Chacham Ovadia Yosef. The question follows, what about Hatzalah ambulance? Let's say you have a person who's the ambulance driver, and he had a Hatzalah call, and it was Sakanat Nefashot. He took the person to the hospital. Is he allowed to drive back with the ambulance on Shabbat? In that case, the question was actually sent in to Chacham Yitzchak Yosef. Chacham Yitzchak Yosef said the ambulance is allowed to come back. Yes, wait a second, but my father said that you're not allowed to drive back if there's no Sakanat Nefashot. The answer is the ambulance has to be back to where it is locally because it's only really able to help people. If there's another call that's going to be, it has to be local. It can't be in the hospital. It can't be somewhere else. And therefore, the person's allowed to drive back because that's also called Sakanat Nefashot. It's not similar to the fact that you say the next time he's going to go ahead and delay. That's not what we're saying. We're saying the ambulance has to be here because someone might get a phone call and then it might maybe be pikuach nefesh, and therefore it's allowed to return. The same thing is true, by the way, about the doctor himself. If the doctor knows that all the time he's getting calls and locally, I'm not saying for the hospital, people need him. This person has Hole Sheyesh Bo Sakana, this person, and he knows he's in the hospital, he won't be able to help anybody. So the halacha is he'd be able to come back in order to assist wherever he's supposed to be. So he's similar to an ambulance. But most of the time that might not be the case. It depends on the situation. Sometimes it could be that the doctor being in the location that he's supposed to be is going to be beneficial and it's going to save lives. And sometimes him being in the hospital will save more lives. So it's not so simple with the doctor, but with the ambulance it's for sure because there's gear and it moves faster and it goes quicker. So the ambulance is allowed to return back in its place. The same thing for Hatzalah members. Especially in communities, Baruch Hashem here, there's many Hatzalah members, but some communities have only 1 or 2 or 3 Hatzalah members, and if they're in the hospital and they're not local, they won't be able to help, they won't be able to come speedily and on time, and therefore in that circumstance, the Hatzalah member would be able to even drive back himself because it's a matter of pikuach nefesh. Of course, if he's able to do it through a goy, that's obviously better. But if he doesn't find the goy, then in that particular instance, he would be able to drive himself back as well. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.